Hi everyone, I'm back with a haul video, which is something I don't really do too much of. I think I've only done two other haul videos, and that was from Heroes Con in Charlotte earlier this year. This is some comics I picked up from the South Florida Collectors Fest, which went on today, just for one day. It was a very small show, predominantly toys. There was probably four or five different booths that had some comics, and most of the comics were more of modern and a lot of slabbed. And I don't buy slab books, and I'm not into modern. I'm predominantly a Bronze Age collector, and with some Silver Age. But I picked up, like I said, a nice little stack here. I had my list with me of all the books. I only picked up. There was only two that were on my list that I picked up, and probably should have been a couple more on my list, and I'll get to that. But we'll get right into this, and starting with Captain America, number 165 from September of 1973. Captain America and the Falcon, the Yellow Claw Strikes. I'm probably going to start collecting all the 20-cent issues of Captain America and the Falcon. I do like that run. Steve Englehart is on the scripts, and of course, Steve Englehart did a great run on the Justice League of America from issues 139 to 150. He was the writer on those, except for I think issue number 144. He did a great job there. Does a great job here. I think he also had a great run with the Detective Comics. Anyway, number 165. Pretty nice shape too. One more I picked up for the 20 cent, and that's number 169 from January of 1974, Captain America and the Falcon. Fights the Tumbler, who had not fought in a long time, as I finished the story a little while ago. And Falcon kind of has a meeting with the Black Panther. I think he's talking about somehow trying to enhance his abilities, his powers. But good issue. It's left on a cliffhanger, so I'm going to have to start picking up all the 20-cent issues of Captain America and the Falcon. So I got two to start, 165 and 169. Now this issue probably should have been on my want list. Marvel Premiere featuring the 3D Man, issue number 35 from 1977. So I was puzzled. It says first issue, but it says 35. This is a comic that brings back a lot of memories of my first and probably best haul I ever had, and that was thanks to my dad back in 1977. We were living in Schiller Park, Illinois. My dad had bought a home in South Florida, so they had two homes for a while. Market wasn't great, the economy wasn't great, and until my folks sold the home in Illinois, that's where we lived. But my dad would go down to Florida for work, and there was 1 week he was there. He was down there a week or two, I don't remember. And some of our neighbors had three sons who bought comics. They weren't collectors. They just liked to read them. And they were having a yard sale and selling a big chunk of their collection or of their comics. And my dad bought them, brought them back. And that was, like I said, my first ever haul. And it was the best haul. It had to be at least about 100 books. And this was one of them. I had never read, never even heard of the series or the hero. And there was a lot of Marvel, and it was really my first exposure to Marvel comics, even though I was familiar with the Marvel heroes. But I was predominantly DC, still am. But anyway, this was one of the books, not this exact copy, obviously, since I just picked it up today. But I want to try to get some of those books that I remember from that haul, and maybe one day I can do a video of memories from my first and best ever haul. But this was one of them, and I think 3D Man had a 3-issue run in this, 35, 36, and 37, and I think all three of them were in that haul, but I know this one for sure, because again, it confused me. It says first issue, but it says 35 up there. I don't get it. So this should have been on my want list. I got it at a great price, nice copy, so happy to add it to the collection. This is a giant-sized werewolf, obviously, from number 5 from July of 1975. I am collecting this. This was one of the two comics that was on my want list. There was 4 issues of the giant size. I think it's 3 and 5, so I need 2 and 4 because there was no number 1. Nice square bound issue. And this is one of 3 books that I'm going to show that I got from one dealer who had the best. He had the best books by far there, and I could have bought a little more, but I didn't want to deviate too much from my list, and so I probably should have bought one more. He had a nice Detective Comics, or no, it was Batman, early Bronze Age, and but not a big deal. It wasn't on my want list, so. But again, you go to a show and just sometimes these covers really, a lot of times these covers appeal to you. In fact, one of the books I bought from this gentleman was strictly because of the cover. But this was on my want list. So I have 2 more to go for Giant Size Werewolf, and I believe I need, like I said, 2 and 4. And I love Werewolf, Tomb of Dracula, Monster of Frankenstein. Of course, Monster of Frankenstein is my favorite of the 3. I have the entire run. It was obviously the easiest to collect because there was less issues. If I'm not mistaken, there was 17 or 18 issues of Monster of Frankenstein. Werewolf by Night and Tomb of Dracula ran longer and a little more pricey, but still were excellent. This was my biggest pickup of the day, and obviously was on my list. Detective Comics number 437 from November of 1973, I believe. And it's the first appearance of the Paul Kirk, the Manhunter. So this has been on my list for a while. He had 2 copies of this, and this was nicer condition. I would say it's a very fine plus. I whittled down the price a little because I bought a couple other books and read the story. I have all the others. Actually, there's one I'm missing because he did. I don't know how long the Paul Kirk Manhunter ran in Detective Comics. The next several issues that he appeared in were all 100-pagers, and I have all but one of the 100-pagers for the Detective Comics. So that's the other one on my want list, but he didn't have that. But nice copy, love the cover, Jim Aparo art inside. This one, that was the last one I bought from that gentleman. Bought it strictly for the cover. Neil Adams. Neil Adams artwork inside. Denny O'Neil scripts. Great cover. And I got this at a great deal. It's not a super expensive book by any means, but for what I paid and what it goes for, just looking on eBay, I paid 3 times less than what I would get it on eBay. And it's in nice shape. It's like probably a very fine minus. It's in Mylar, so it looks even nicer, but cool cover. Bought it strictly for the cover. Just so cool. And bought this. I have this already, but that duplicate copy sickness, multiple copy sickness, whatever you want to call it, it kicked in. This was just a fine / very fine. It was only $5. This is a great series, underrated. If you haven't read it, it's easy to collect. I think there's 5 issues, maybe 6. Affordable, and again, like I said, underrated. And so I had to get another copy. And then I bought this. This was $3, and really the only thing, again, just Bronze Age at its finest, Super Team Family, number 12. And by the way, obviously you saw Ragman number 1, September 1976. This is one I love the masthead the most in the center. Super Team Family again, number 12, 1977. Green Lantern and Hawkman plus Atom, a new double-length novel. And really the only thing, it has a little chip or rip there, but I don't care. It was $3. Saddle stitched. Pretty cool. That was the haul from South Florida CollectorsFest. Then I picked this up from Tomorrow's Publications. It came in yesterday. It's I think it's the most recent back issue, number 155, November 2024 cover date. This issue is haunted. House of Mystery, House of Secrets, The Unexpected, Haunted Tank, plus some Marvel stuff. But I bought it primarily because of it spotlights a lot of DC horror books of the 70s, which I love. Again, a genre that I never even looked at as a kid, but now I can't get enough of House of Mystery. Unexpected, Haunted, all good stuff. So that came in the mail yesterday, so I figured to toss that in as well in the haul. And it's in I got a bunch of new magazine bags yesterday, so I was rebagging a lot of my back issue magazines, Amazing World of DC Comics, because this is the one where you can tape it, which I prefer instead of the sticky residue on the back, or sometimes the sticky residue is up on here. Well, you can't see it because up on the top there. And I've had a couple magazines or comics caught by that residue that's on the top of the flap. And so I just wanted to get rid of all those flapped, ones, the self-sealing ones. Because, when I do a tape, I do on anything, I fold the tape over so it's easy to pull it off completely. So I rebagged a bunch of my magazines. As I said, a bunch of back issue magazines, Amazing World of DC Comics, which I'm only missing 2. Plus I had some wrestling magazines that were gifted to me from my friend Bill, who runs the best vintage wrestling mag channel on YouTube called Pro Wrestling Mags. If you're into pro wrestling, especially back in the day of the regional, the territory system, check out his channel. It's Pro Wrestling Mags. Bill's a super guy. He has the best wrestling magazine collection I've ever seen. And so I rebagged some magazines, wrestling magazines he gifted me. Had some old bodybuilding magazines I wanted to save. So anyway, there you go, folks. That's it. That's the haul and this pickup from yesterday, back issue. Appreciate y'all watching. Take care, everyone.